Hi everybody, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com and welcome back to another video. So for today's video I have a super cute card here done featuring MFT Stamps. They're also sponsoring a fantastic giveaway on this one. Stay tuned a little bit later in the video and I'll get to that. Let's just go through what we're using here first. So first I showed you guys the Llamadays, or Happy Llamadays stamps and dies, which was from the October release. And now I'm pulling out a bunch of my alcohol inks and I couldn't find my blending solution, so I used Copic colorless blender, which worked perfectly fine. I haven't played with my alcohol inks in forever. I bought these things like years ago. I used to decorate little dominoes and things, so I've had these forever. And I decided to pull them out. I had a bunch of Yupo paper from watercoloring, which everybody's been using on them now, and we had a play. I'm really happy with how this turned out, but I didn't use the one I started with here. I ended up pulling in like the other half of that piece of paper just to use up what's extra on my sponge, and that's the one I ended up using because it wasn't quite as vivid. Personal preference. But we're just going to go through and play and figure out what I want. I love how when you drop this on, you get all those pretty cells that I dropped too much on, so it all ends up being one big blob. It's like finding that balance of enough ink, I'm blowing on it currently, of enough ink, and then having way too much ink. I'm using... that is just like a little pick. I probably picked it up on eBay. It looks like a dental tool, but it works perfect for piercing paper and lots of things. So now we're just going through and patting that off again. I set it aside just to dry for a couple of minutes and I walked away so that I could have a fighting chance of trying to make this look like a bunch of tiny little bubbles or tiny little cells on it. You'll see as we get further in. This is where I pulled out that second piece of paper just to use up and help dry off what was on that tool. So that's a Tim Holtz blending tool, and instead of having the foam on it, it's just got a piece of felt on it. And now I'm just starting to dab the colors on, and you can see how I'm getting those tiny little cells everywhere, and that's what I was after. So we're just slowly dabbing that on, and I am going to come back and add some other colors and things just to make it a little bit more interesting. I'm only keeping a tiny little bit of alcohol ink on the blender, so that when I dab it down, I just get tiny little cells. It's not sopping wet or anything like that. It's actually fairly dry. It's just enough to make a mark on the paper. And I'm just going to take my time and continue to dab and dab and dab and dab and dab and add a little bit. So I'm adding some yellow here. And I'm dabbing off a lot of the color. And now I'm just going to go in and start lightly dabbing it on the paper to add that color all over. It looks kind of really bad right now with the yellow and purple together. But when I come back in and add some other colors and get it all to kind of sell out and work together, it ends up really, really pretty. The one on the left hand side is the original one, I do believe, and the one on the right is the one that I end up using. It's a little bit lighter. So now we're adding a little bit of green in there, which I wasn't sure if it was working at the start. And it was. You can see it here on screen, but in person, it was almost really hard to tell if the green was pushing anything out and was showing up on the pieces of Yupo paper or not. So back to our giveaway. I will repeat this at the end for those that skip to the end just to see that. But MFT is sponsoring a fantastic giveaway on the channel. They are giving away a $25 gift card to one of my subscribers. I'm so excited to give this away to you guys. All you have to do is leave a comment below and be subscribed to the MFT YouTube channel. So I will post a link to their channel down below too. If you aren't subscribed over there, you should pop over there and subscribe. And then on the, when do I get home? On the 3rd of November, I will draw a winner and I will post it over on my blog, which again will be linked in the description box below. It will be posted over on my blog on the 5th of November. The 5th or the 6th. I'm traveling, so I'll be back somewhere late on the 5th or early on the 6th, but if I have internet, I will do it on the 5th for you guys. But that post will be over on my blog, and I will put a direct link to the giveaway post in the description box of this video. So all you have to do is pop back over here and check it out on the 5th of October, who is the winner. So I'm super excited to be able to do that for you guys. Thank you to MFT for providing the gift card to give away. I'm having a blast doing a couple guest cards for you guys. It's been super fun. I've loved this Christmas release. I really appreciate the opportunity And we're still dabbing color onto Yupo paper. Are we enjoying this yet? Because I'm sick of it. And I should have quit here. And I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. But it's really pretty in the end, so. Dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. So we're almost to the point where we're done. And I'm just going to set those aside and leave them until we'll come back to that one on the left or right hand side of the screen at the end here. So now I'm pulling out the Happy Llamaday stamp. So this was from the October 2018 release. And I am going to stamp this using MFT's Extreme Black ink onto some Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. I tend to use this quite a bit for my Copic coloring. So we're going to stamp that one down. And then we're going to come in and do a bunch of coloring here. I know that my skin makes the white balance go off, and it's weird. There we go, that's a little better. So I'm going to start off by taking that W05 and just putting in a few dots along where our shadow is going to be. And then we'll come in and do some smooth blending over top of that. So just using the tip of the marker and doing different sized dots anywhere where I think there would be a cast shadow, just to add a little bit of texture to that llama. I want him to kind of appear slightly fuzzy. I didn't want to make little curls on him, but the dotting technique I figured would make him look slightly fuzzy in the end, which was the goal. Now we'll come in with our W3, and I'm going to make his snout real dark. And then following along where I did all of those dots is where I'm going to put all of our shadows. So that's where we're going to drop in the W3 marker. I decided to use the warm grays for him because he's a critter, and I tend to use the warm colors on the animals. I don't know why, I just do. So W1, we're going in next, and I'm making sure I color right over top of that darker color and blending it out into the white area. Going back over that darker color allows those markers to mix and mingle and blend together, and you get a real smooth transition in between all of your colors. Then our W00, and I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm going over that darker area back up into the lighter color, and then a colorless blender just to finish blending it together with what stayed as the white of the paper. Then I'm going to come in with our W3 and our W1 and do a little bit more dotting out into the lighter area. I didn't want it all to blend away. So a little bit of that, and that'll finish off the actual llama part, and we'll get into the presents. The Copic coloring is super simple, but I love these llamas, you guys. They are absolutely adorable. So I'm coming in with one of my favorite purple combos, which is V09. You'll see how I go to the V06 and then I come back to the V09. I find with this color combination, the jump from the 09 to the 06 is quite fast. So I have to either do tip-to-tip technique or do 2 coats in this area just to get the transition a little bit smoother than it normally is, than it would be without doing that, I should say. So then we're going to come in with the 05 and then the 01 just to finish blending it out. I will have links to all of these products in the description box below, so if there's anything you're looking for, you can definitely find all of those down there. Super easy for you guys. Yeah, I like to try and help out as much as I can anyway. BG07, this is one of my favorite combos. I use this color all the time. There is a 09, which is a little bit darker. I didn't use it on this one, but it gives you lots of versatility if you're going to do a lighter teal or a darker teal, and how dark you want your shadows and all of that stuff. And I think the color itself is really, really pretty. It's not too green. It stays a lot more on the blue side of things. Finishing that off with the BG01. Now we're going to come in with a red color here, starting with R37, and I'm just filling in every other color on the candy cane. I wasn't going to do any sort of blending there. There's not enough space. You don't need to do it. R35 is our next one to blend out, and then R32. And this is where it starts to get a little trickier to blend because that seems like quite a big jump. What I'm going to do now is come in with the R30, and then I'm going to go back to the R32 just to try and deepen it up and get it to blend a little bit better, and it does. So do that, and then back to that R30, and then I'm going to pull out, this is the coordinating die set, which you can also purchase separately, of course, and I'm going to tape that down and run it through my die cutting machine. Now I have a top folding card base and then just a white panel that's cut 1/4 inch smaller. So that's an A2 card base, and my card panel is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And that's where I show you the difference between those two, and I picked the one that was lighter in coloring. So I'm going to cut off just a strip of that at 2.5 inches. Is that what I end up using? No, I think I go a little smaller. 2.25 inches. And then I cut it down to 4, so that'll fit all the way across that card base, or that card panel. Now we're going to tape that one down. I love how this card came out. I think it's absolutely adorable, and it's super easy. I played with a little bit of alcohol ink, and we did a little bit of Copic coloring. And I couldn't figure out where I wanted to put that panel, and that's where it ended up going. Look at that. Then I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with the sentiment, if I was going to stamp it below, and I'm like, no, I should give her something to stand on. So I pulled out the Happy Llamadays, and I'm going to stamp it again using my extreme black ink from MFT onto some scrap white cardstock I had kicking around, and make a little banner for him to stand on. So I just hand cut the banner out here. You can see I just have the strip of paper. Now I'm going to cut off the back side and turn it into a banner. And then we will tape that one down to the front of the paper here. I think it turned out super adorable, you guys. So I'm going to adhere our card base onto our top folding card. And when you're doing this, make sure your card base is held up the right way. It is on this one. I didn't do it on this card, but I do it all the time, where I put cards together upside down all the time. So if you do it, don't feel bad, because I do it literally all the time. So we're going to adhere our little sentiment strip. Then I'm going to put some foam tape on the back of our llama here. And when I'm putting them over top of things like watercolor paper, or like this plastic Yupo paper, I do add a little bit of liquid adhesive to the back side of them just to make sure they stick real good to that paper. And that'll be it for this card. So like I said, if you're a subscriber here and a subscriber over on the MFT channel, leave a comment down below for a $25 gift card. If you aren't subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye for now.